Welcome to Middle Math Academy, percent of a number, level number 5. This is part of our differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge for every topic. Let's get started. Our learning target today is I can solve real-world problems involving percents, and I can find the whole number given a part in a percent. Before we get started with some notes, rate yourself 1 through 5 before the lesson on our learning target. 1 is the least confident, 5 is the most confident. At the end of today's lesson, after we've gotten some more practice, we'll rate ourselves again. Let's take a look at our notes. There are tons of real-world applications for percent of a number. In shopping discounts, we can calculate the percent off on a sale item. Taxes and tips, we're finding the percentage of a bill or the percent that we have to pay in taxes. And then interest rates, we're calculating interest on savings or loans, which is really important when you buy a house and a car. So let's talk about some problem-solving strategies. There are 3 main things we're looking for in a problem. It's either going to be the percentage, the whole number, and the part. So we want to kind of label those 3 things in the problems as we go. So before we move on to our next note, some examples of the part are discount, tip, tax, interest. Make sure you're writing these down. And some examples of the whole are total or original price. So this will help you figure out what the problem's asking for. Remember, pause the video if you need more time. So let's go back up where it says convert percentage to a decimal. To convert a percent to a decimal, we simply divide the percent by 100. So 25% becomes 0.25. All right, so if we're finding the part, if we're finding the discount, the tip, tax, interest, what we'll do is we'll take our whole number and we'll multiply it times our percent as a decimal. So in this example, it says, if a shirt costs $50 and is 20% off, calculate the discount. So we're looking for the discount, we're looking for the part. The whole is the original price, $50. 20% as a decimal is 0.20. And so I'll do 50 times 0.20, which is 10. So the discount is $10. Now remember, that's not the amount you pay. The discount's the amount you don't pay. So if the shirt was $50 and it's $10 off, now we just have to pay $40. Now, before we practice finding the whole number, I want you to complete example A and B, then come back to the video to check your work. Example A says a jacket is originally priced at $80. I know the original price is the whole, and it's on sale for 30% off. 30% as a decimal is 0.30. What is a discount amount? So we're looking for the part. So to find the part, we can take our whole and multiply it times the percent as a decimal. So we'll take $80 times 0.30, and the discount is $24. That's how much we don't have to pay. Let's take a look at example B. Example B is a 2-part question. It says a laptop costs $1,200. Okay, so that's the original price, our whole. There's a 15% discount. How much will you save? Okay, so how much you save is the part. So we'll do part equals whole times percent as a decimal. 1,200 times 0.15 is 180. So we save $180. But there's a second question, what's the sale price? So to figure out the sale price, we take our original price, 1,200, and we subtract the amount we save, 180, and the amount we'll actually pay, the sale price, is $1,020. All right, let's finish up our notes and then do example C and D. Now let's focus on when the problem's asking for the whole number, or it's asking for the total or original price. So if the problem gives you the part and the percent, you'll find the whole number by dividing. Before we were multiplying. Now we're going to divide the part by the percent as a decimal. So if we paid $30, which is 60% of the total, find the total cost by dividing. We'll do 30 divided by 0.60, and that means the total cost is $50. Let's take a look at example C. Try example C on your own, then come back to check your work. Example C says $900 is 25% of the original price of a laptop. What is the original price? So $900 is our part because that just represents 25% of the original price. And remember, original price is the whole. So if the problem's asking for the whole or it's asking for the original price, we're going to take our part and divide it by the percent as a decimal. So 900 divided by 0.25 gives us 3,600. So the original price of the laptop was $3,600. Complete example D on your own. Once you finish example D, this video will not go over that problem. Check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete examples A and B on page 2. Come back to the video when you're ready to check your work. In problem A, $500 was the original price of the whole. 25% is 0.25. So we can do 500 times 0.25, and the amount saved is $100. Let's check our work for B. In problem B, it tells us how much we saved. So it tells us the part. So we can take our part and divide it by our percent as a decimal. And the original price of the book was $25. Complete the rest of page 2 on your own, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. On page 3, complete examples A and B, then come back to the video to check your work. Let's check our work for problem A. Let's check our work for problem B. B is a two-part question. So the first part, how much interest, that's the part. Okay, so $1,000 is our whole. Remember, 3% as a decimal is 0.03. So if you wrote 0.3, that's wrong. So you should have done 1,000 times 0.03, and that means we earned $30 interest. Now, the second part of our question says, how much will be in savings after 1 year? So remember, we started with $1,000 in savings. That's a nice thing about interest. You're kind of making money by just having money in your account, money in your savings. Okay, so we started with $1,000, and then we earned $30. And so after 1 year, we have $1,030. Complete the rest of page 3, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete problems A and B on page 4, then come back to the video to check your work. Let's check our work for problem A. The discount amount is 300 times 0.15, so we save $45. It asks for the discount amount and the sale price. So we don't have to pay $45. To figure out what we do have to pay, we take our original price, 300, and we subtract 45. So our sale price is $255. Let's check our work for B. To figure out the sales tax, that's the part. So we'll take our original price, 600, multiply it times 0.05, and that means that we're paying $30 in tax. Now it says find the final cost. So that's not our final cost, that's just our tax. To figure out our final cost, we have to take 600 and add how much we have to pay in taxes. And so our total would be $630. So taxes you add on to your bill. Same thing with tip. Discounts you subtract from your original. Complete the rest of page 4, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete examples A and B on page 5, then come back to the video to check your work. A says the interest on a $200,000 mortgage is 3.5% annually. What is the first year's interest payment and what's the total mortgage after 1 year? Okay, so we're talking about house prices here and how much you have to pay. So when we talk about interest, that's the part. So our whole is 200,000, and we can multiply that times 0.035. I divided 3.5 by 100 to get my decimal, and that means 3.5% of 200,000 is 7,000. So that's how much extra you have to pay on this loan. And so the total mortgage payment would be 200,000 plus the 7,000. to get 207,000. This is assuming that you haven't paid any of it as well. Let's check our work for B. In problem B, it says if $900 is the interest for the first year, so it tells us the interest. So it tells us the part. The interest rate is 6% or 0.06. Now, if it gives us the part, we can take our part and divide it by our percent as a decimal. And that means the total loan amount was 15,000. Complete the rest of page 5, then check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Complete all of page 6. Once you finish this whole page, come back to the video and we'll just check 1 or 2 problems together. Pause the video and check your work for error analysis number 1. Pause the video, check your work for common misconception problem number 1. Now that we've finished page 6, go back to page number 1. At the beginning of today's lesson, we rated ourselves on our learning targets. Now that we've gotten more practice, you're going to rate yourself after the lesson 1 through 5. 1 is the least confident, 5 is the most confident. Once you finish page 6, rated yourself on page 1, check in with your teacher to get additional feedback. Thank you for joining us today at Middle Math Academy, where we practice percent of a number level number 5. This is part of our differentiated series where we have 5 levels of challenge for every topic. If you're looking for any additional practice, make sure to check out levels number 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful day.